Market order flow, guys. I love going over market order flow, so let's not waste no time. Let's get to it. Now, before I go ahead and show you guys on the charts, I definitely need to show you a quick example on a drawing case. Okay, so what we can see is that market is going to be creating an overall structure. Move to the upside, move to the downside, move to the upside, move to the downside, move to the upside, move to the downside, so on and so on. Okay, now I want you to pay attention to this. Now, every time that we have a move to the upside, market had created order flow, and the order flow is going to be this move right here, which is going to be particularly the move to the downside. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just highlight this real quick with a quick color. This right here is the start of our order flow. Okay, so what market is going to do is going to attempt and come back to continue and collect orders from previous order flow. It's either going to go to the start or the midpoint of that order flow. So in this case scenario, we can see how market's going to either come into this section or come into this section for a potential continuation to the upside. This right here, guys, is what creates market structure. Order flow. Order flow, order flow, order flow creates market structure. Now there's order flow on 15-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour. Every hour has its own order flow. And one thing to take in consideration that if you are looking at order flow on 1 hour, stick to that 1 hour order flow. If you are looking at order flow on the 15-minute, stick to that order flow on 15-minute. There is a correlation within all the time frames. However, when it comes to order flow, you want to stick to one order flow time frame first before moving on to another one. Once it shifts its order flow, then you can go ahead and shift your time frame. But at this very moment, let's continue on talking about this order flow. We can see how market comes down, creates a new order flow, meaning that start of the order flow right here and midpoint of the order flow right over here. So let's continue, and then I'm gonna show you guys the end real quick. So right here we can see how market comes down, start of the order flow right here, and mid of the order flow right here. Now, what is the end of the order flow? The end of the order flow is right here, the bottom. The end of the order flow is right here, the bottom. And the end of the order flow is right here, the bottom. Okay, what does that mean? That means that if market on its given time frame, let's say this is the 1 hour time frame, goes ahead and goes beneath this order flow, okay, below this bottom, what happens? Well, market now created a new order flow, and that order flow is now right here. So we can potentially anticipate market coming to the midpoint of that order flow to then continue on moving lower and lower. Now, you may see it right here, very simple as saying, hey, well, isn't that just looking at the tops and the bottoms of a potential pullback? You can see it like that right here. However, it is based off of the candle. The candle is what makes the order flow important, and the candle is what helps to identify the start of the order flow and the end of the order flow. So with that being said, guys, let's get to it. Let's go over on the 15-minute time frame real quick, over to the charts, that way you guys can see. Now, actually, let's go over to the 1 hour, make it a little bit easier, and I want you guys to pay attention to this. Now, the start of the order flow is going to be the main candle that made that push to the downside, the main candle that had overall volume. So in this case scenario, we can see that the main candle that had the overall order flow and the overall orders was right here. This one created the push to the downside. Okay, we created that push to the downside, and we created that push to the downside. So what market's going to do is going to attempt to potentially come back into that section. Now, there are going to be moments where you see accumulation of price, that the accumulation of price will go ahead and contradict this, and you'll use the half point of the accumulation of price. Now, we'll be talking about accumulation of price later on in the future, but for right now, I want to stick to order flow. So let's continue going up over here. Now, what was the candle that started the move to the downside? Not the doji. The one that started the move to the downside was right here. This right here, and then order flow ended right here. It didn't end over here, didn't end over here. This was the overall push. Okay, then we have movement going to the upside, it comes back down. Okay, so now since we had market coming back down, where did order flow create? Many individuals would say, hey, order flow created over here and started and ended over here. Not exactly. The reason why is because we have accumulation of price right over here. We had that last push to the downside before market had its move to the upside. So order flow in this case started right here. Now, as we go ahead and continue, we can see how many of us would be saying order flow started right here, started going all the way down. Yes, it did start right here. However, as we can see, there are accumulations of price which went ahead and contradicted that order flow, meaning that the half point of these accumulation price are going to be the levels that we're going to be looking into. Now we have this level of order flow that was not tapped into. The reason why this is an order flow is because it's accumulation of price that went ahead and contradicted the previous order flow. Over here we have what? Another accumulation of price that contradicted previous accumulation of price. Now when you see two accumulations of price, what I typically like to look at is I like to look at this as an overall start of an order flow right here. This is the overall start of the order flow that I take in consideration, meaning that I'm going to be looking for a potential half point. And that half point, while you look at that, what a coincidence. That half point is literally right on the 1.14500 psychological level. Is it a coincidence? I don't know. So let's get to it over here. Now we can see how right here, market moved to the downside, overall move, and market keeps on doing the overall order flows. So in this case, what are we seeing? Market is going to potentially be looking for a accumulation to continue on moving up. Now I expect market coming all the way down, fulfilling the imbalance. But for right now, I want you guys to pay attention to order flow. Let's go a little bit more to the back. Let's go over where we start seeing a little bit more of that overall move. So that way you guys can really look into this. And that could be potentially on the 15-minute time frame where you'll be able to see this a lot easier. It's going to be a lot more visible and you're going to be able to comprehend it a lot easier. Okay, so right here, very nice, very neat. What do we see? We see how order flow started right here. Nice order flow. Market pushes to the upside. Order flow, market pushes to the upside. And then tests his order flow. This little candle right here, order flow, market comes to the upside and then tests his previous order flow. Now right here we have order flow right here and then we have order flow right here. So this is the start of the order flow. This is where we went ahead and created that big move. So meaning that market is going to go ahead and go up and test that order flow. Okay, where did order flow start? Right here we have that overall move right here. Market move down, so market's going to go up and then test that order flow. Where did the market push down? Market pushed down at this overall right here, this candle. So the market is going to go up and then test that order flow right here. Now where did order flow start? Order flow started right here, so market's going to go up and then potentially test. Now remember guys, if you guys went to the previous video of the stop losses, this is why we leave our stop loss 2 to 3 pips underneath, because there could be orders right underneath. So we can see how if you want to just place 3 pips right here, then you would have gone ahead and lost. But if you would have gone ahead and put another extra 2 pips for those orders that were not collected previously, probably some orders that were not collected on the previous order flow, market's going to go ahead and attempt to collect those orders and then continue going up. But if you were stingy with your stop loss, then what do you think would have happened? You would have lost. But if you were okay with your stop loss and you would have gave it that room, those extra 2 to 3 pips, this order flow is still valid. This order flow never broke. It was just a wick into our previous order flow that maybe there was orders that were not collected. So we can see how this right here continuing on that direction. Now, what's the following order flow? We can see right here. We can see how market came down. We have this huge wick. Order flow started right over here on this candle. So order flow started right over here on this candle. So this is going to be the candle that we'll be taking in consideration. Market continues on moving up. Did market ever come and test that order flow? No, it did not. Okay, it did not test that order flow. So what do we start seeing? We start seeing how market starts over here, potential distributing, and then just passes through order flow. Remember, this right here could have been just order flow that wasn't collected previously, so stop loss could have been hit. What confirmed a change in order flow was this right here, this candle. This candle closed underneath previous lows as a candle, not as a wick, as a candle. It's very important for you to take in consideration the candle. The candles is very crucial when it comes to identifying order flow. Now, I will be going more in detail inside the course on order flows, doing some examples, some PowerPoint, stuff like that for you guys to go ahead and print out and see. But that's going to be in the course that I will be having in the academy soon. For right now, I just want to go ahead and provide free information for you guys. That way you guys can go ahead and get some knowledge for therefore later on in the future, if you guys do decide to go ahead and join the official course, which is going to be on my website, then you already have the knowledge and it's going to be a lot easier for you and you'll have some practice already. Okay, so as we go ahead and continue, we can continue seeing that market just simply comes up into the zones of imbalance, fulfills, and continues going down. These are subjects these are subjects that we had already tapped into in the past. So I hope with this information you are going to be able to go ahead and implement it in the market. Remember, order flow is very important. Order flow is what's going to keep you inside the game. Order flow is going to keep you understanding what the direction and the bias of the market is, so that way you can have a better probability of the market direction. So with that being said, guys, as always, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great one, and till next time.